Hey everyone, welcome to week 2 of our Skin Deep series. It is an up week, so make sure you spend some time during your house church praying for those people who don't yet know Christ, who are in your life. This is a series about beauty, and so it's only fitting that I'm wearing this beauty of a toque for you here today. It was a giveaway from my hockey league last year, and it's really, I get a lot of compliments on it from people, so I thought I'd wear it here for you so you could bask in its beauty. None of that is true. Actually, it was one of those days where some of the things that I planned to do didn't happen, things like showering. So here I am with my toque on my head and talking to you about beauty and what we talked about last Sunday, which was, first of all, my own little bit of, maybe not confusion, but just curiosity about why are we talking about beauty? Like, I know why we're talking about it in the sense that it's interesting and it's something that's a part of the Christian life, but really, if I could really summarize it for myself, my question is, why are we doing this? I loved Mike's sermon. It had me totally pulled in. I was curious, and I'm excited about filling in the blanks for the next few weeks on what he talked about, and then he's coming back for the last two. But I just had on my heart this question, why does this matter? And in my study this week, I dove into that even more and found something that was for me helpful. But my question going in, and maybe your question as you're sitting in your house church talking about beauty, is like, how does this relate to being a Christian exactly? My answer came, so my light bulb moment came when I started doing some digging about Plato and philosophy and some Christian thinking over the years, and found this interesting way of thinking about what we're doing here. So as I look at this camera, it's sitting on a tripod, which is, so it's supported by 3 legs, right? And the Christian life really is supported by 3 legs, let's say, in this line of thinking, this philosophy, this theology that's kind of continued through the years. It's supported by truth, it's supported by goodness, and it's supported by beauty. Now, if you come to PAC on any given Sunday, you would hear about truth. You would be challenged to think differently or to consider different evidence or framing something different in your mind. You would be called to better behavior, to a higher level of goodness, or to appreciate goodness. But what you might not actually get is a real taste of beauty. If you did get it, it would come almost unintentionally. Like maybe the music was really beautiful, or maybe you saw a little kid in a pretty dress or something in the lobby, and you're like, oh, that's just gorgeous. But that's not what we're necessarily trying to do in the same way that we're trying to get truth and goodness into us. But if the 3 things that lift up a Christian life, the 3 things that make us like God, are truth, goodness, and beauty, then really we're leaving one of those things at the table, so to speak. We should be feeding off of all 3. Our diet is incomplete. So my light bulb moment came when I was like, oh, that's why we need to dive into beauty, because we want to be like God, and we become like God by feeding on truth. We become like God by feeding on goodness, and we become like God by feeding on beauty. But if we don't have steady stream of beauty in our diet, then we're having a harder time becoming like God than we would otherwise. So we need a complete diet. So that's my light bulb. My arrow out of that was just like, wow, so why are we so scared of beauty then? Like my conviction, I suppose, was like, I'm skeptical about this, because in the Bible there's stories about God looking at the inside and not the outside, and there's verses about women that's like, you know what, beauty is fleeting, don't focus on that. And aren't we supposed to be skeptical of beauty? In churches, if we spend too much money on the building to make it beautiful, people are like, I don't know, man, that's frivolous, that's not the right thing, there's better things to do than to make things beautiful. So there's this healthy suspicion that stops us from feeding on beauty in a way that makes us like God. And that's my conviction, is that we need to get rid of that suspicion. And we tried to do that on Sunday. I gave you a few ways to get past it, ways to see what the Bible's really saying, and then ways to talk about which beauty is true and which beauty is false, because part of the reason we're suspicious is that false beauty ends up burning us, it devours us, it reduces us. True beauty actually nourishes us, restores us, gives us a sense of wonder. False beauty, after we've been allured by it, it leaves us feeling distant from God. True beauty has us feeling close to God. So enjoy talking about beauty, try and get rid of some of that suspicion, and begin to learn how to feast, not just on truth, not just on goodness, but also on beauty, so that you too can be restored in the image of the one that you're made to be like, our Creator, our Father. Enjoy yourself, and we shall see you next week.